Hi African Queen family, how are you doing today? I'm sitting on the edge of my sofa because things are edgy right now. Today I want us to talk about one thing, very important. And by the way, for those of you who don't know me, first of all, thank you very much for coming and joining me because things are thick. Alright guys, here I am. Yeah, this is what I'm wearing today. I'm in a skirt. So, let me introduce myself first of all. My name is African Queen Mo, or Mo on the go with another show. But anyway, remember that I changed my name to African Queen Mo. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for following me. I really love you guys. You guys are just so supportive. I really appreciate it. I have very few subscribers, but do you know what? They say, you know, small and sweet. You know, as a small group, a small family, you know, it's so beautiful. I love you guys. I love the people who are there listening to me. I really appreciate it because I know that you're taking time to listen to me. Yeah. So, but anyway, thank you so much for subscribing. Please remember, guys, put a thumbs up on my videos. If you want to see an African Queen Mo grow, then you need to thumbs up those videos. Don't just watch and disappear. That's your contribution to my channel. I appreciate that so much. Today I want us to discuss something extremely important, which is what I learned from a Pakistani in the UK about African marriages and marriages between Africans and Asians specifically, and the divorce rates in particular. And before I discuss that, I was actually talking to my house help about this issue, and she says, you know what, it applies to Kenya as well. Now listen to what she has to say about it. So you're just going to hear her voice, okay, guys? All right, so my dear, her name is Fatima. I'm going to ask her in Swahili and then she's going to respond and I'll translate for you guys who don't understand Kiswahili. So Fatima.
Habari zenu wenzangu nyote. Kuna kitu kimoja ambacho kinanikera na kinakera wamama wengi sana kuhusu marriage. Imekuja ama imefikia mahali ya kuwa wanaume hawapendi majukumu yao. Mtu akishaku mtaelewana vizuri, muoane, but inafika mahali mkishaanza kujenga familia yenu, kishapata mtoto wa kwanza ama hata mtoto wa pili, basi mwanaume anaanza kuchange, anaanza kuwa mhash kwako, anakwepa majukumu yake. Sasa nyumba inakuwa haina amani, inakuwa mvurugano, na ikiendelea hivyo hata ikizidi anakukimbia ama hata anakufukuza. Sijui hiyo shida huwa ni nini kati ya wanaume. Sijui mtu huwa amebadilika vipi na huwa mwanamke amebadilika ama ni vipi, kwa sababu mtu anakuchukia bila hata makosa. Sasa hata huwa inanishinda mimi, na wanawake wengi sana wanalalamika kuhusu hiyo jambo.
Kwa hivyo hebu nikuulize, unaona kama watu wameoana kama wanaachana sana?
Watu wengi sana wanaachana sana.
Kwa nini? Uliniambia kwamba ukizaa mtoto unaanza kunuka makojo, unaanza kunuka mavi.
Majukumu, wanaume hawataki majukumu saa hizi.
Majukumu ni responsibilities.
Hawataki
She's
majukumu
saying that men don't like responsibilities, guys. She says she doesn't understand what happens when men nowadays, they have children with their girlfriends or their wives. They don't want to stay in their marriages anymore. She herself is a single mom and she was also left with 2 kids. You know, so she's trying to understand what's happening. So she's telling me this is happening more and more. This is what's happening in the villages, isn't it?
Sana tena zimetokea sana. Kuna visa vingi sana. Wamama wanalalamika sana.
Unaona,
mtaishi vizuri mwanzo ikifikia katikati basi ashaanza kukutatiza akili. Ma single mother wana hasira. Ile kuachua majukumu, mtu akuzalisha alafu anakuacha. Wewe chakula, wewe ulipe renti, wewe school fees. Wana hasira, watu wana hasira sana.
Na si
kwa sababu wa baba wanaacha majukumu zao.
Na uwezi enda kule kama fida.
Wakumpeleka fida utampeleka, ataenda kuungama, then tena hata fanya kitu.
Kwa nini uwezi tafuta watu wao, uongee nao?
Wanaongeleshwa. Siku haongeleshwi, cause huo unaanza huko chini ndio sasa unafikia fida. Huo unaanza huko kwa nyumba yao, kwa wazazi wake. But ataongeleshwa lakini habadiliki.
Kwa nini wakina baba wanaenda? Unaona ni kama nini mbaya?
Tutaangalia pande zote, kwa sababu saa nyingine mtu hata hujakosea na mtu unamfanyia kila kitu but atakuacha. Kuna wengine pia sisi wanawake ni vichwa ngumu. Unaona? Unafanywa kila kitu but wewe hauridhiki, hata bwana anatoroka kwa nyumba.
Okay.
Sasa pande zote zina uzito wake, zina makosa yake.
Okay. Lakini saa hii at least mtoto si ni lazima aangaliwe na ni lazima anunuliwe chakula.
Sasa lazima... kina baba wanakosea hapo. Akishaacha mama hataki hata kukumbuka wale watoto.
Na watoto si ni wake.
Hata angalia fees, hata angalia ugonjwa, hata angalia kuvaa, hata angalia chakula, hata angalia rent. Kila kitu anamwachia mama. Kina mama wana stress sana.
So basically what she's saying is that a lot of women, she doesn't know the main reasons why men leave women, or why marriages are not working, but she's saying, okay, on both sides there could be problems, like there could be stubborn women and there could also be men who are irresponsible, but the main issue is the children. Like, why is it that the men feel that they're entitled to leave their kids without any support? And why is it that I asked her, why doesn't she follow up with what they call the Federation of Women Lawyers here, who help women, those who have been left with children by their spouses? And she says, okay, maybe they'll follow up to a certain point, and after that, they'll just disappear. So, okay, guys, let's get back to the topic now. Thank you so much, Fatima. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Asante sana. This is an issue, a huge issue. I just came across a study, guys. There's a UK report that acknowledges the link between family breakdown and inequality. There are so many reports in the UK, all right? That report that was published in March 2021 is by the UK Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities. And it made waves in the UK media because it dismissed racism as a catch-all explanation for social disadvantage. All right. So racism is not, according to that report, a catch-all. It's not the main reason for disadvantages, for example, for children. So they said that that the evidence shows that the geography, family influence, socioeconomic background, and religion are more significant impact on life chances than the existence of racism. The report also claims to be the first government commissioned study on race that seriously engages with the family. Now, what they're saying is that single-parent families have become much more common since the 1970s as a result of increased divorces, and also as an increase of never-married mothers. Among the ethnic groups, the range of lone parenthood rates are huge. The least stable groups that they mention are the Black Caribbean families, where 63% of kids, 63% of children of the Black Caribbean family live in single-parent households, as compared with only 6% of Indian families, who are the most stable in the UK. For the UK as a whole, it's 22% of households are single-parent families. Of those, 63% are Black. All right. However, the report was quick to reject the idea of stigmatization of single mothers. This kind of data can be used to stigmatize certain groups of people. But what was really frightening was, I also read another report that said that Black fathers are more likely to leave their baby mamas compared to other groups, which is so sad. So sad, guys. Let me first of all tone down a little bit, because I was a single mom myself, all right, for a long time. So, okay, why am I talking about this topic, guys? It's because what I learned from, again, a Pakistani taxi driver, and now another Pakistani taxi driver. Before he started running taxis, he was working in the births and deaths and marriage registry in the UK for quite some years. And in there, he discovered the trends have changed over time in terms of who's getting divorced and who's getting married. So guys, this report basically stated that, unfortunately, the report didn't go further to address the drivers of family breakdown, okay, such as perhaps the welfare state. But one of the striking things that they found was that, and let me read, and I quote, so as much as you don't want to stigmatize, single-parent families, you also don't want to turn a blind eye to it, okay? So the report says that by failing to identify the drivers of family breakdown, the report does exactly that. It turns a blind eye to the impact of family breakdown. Like, why? The question is why? Why are families actually breaking down? So they said that in an analysis of family breakdown amongst 9,000 families with 11-year-olds, they found that ethnicity does indeed make a difference. All other factors being equal, black fathers are likely to split from their mother, and South Asian mothers are less likely to split from the father. All right. So basically what we're saying is that the influence of ethnicity is only a fraction as important as a mother's age, education, or happiness, and whether she is married or cohabiting when the child is born. In fact, being married rather than cohabiting is one of the most important factors in predicting whether couples stay together or split up. It's more important than the mother's education. Okay? So what they're saying is that whether a family is cohabiting or married is a determinant on whether or not the family will stay together. So there's a lot of data. And basically, what did we take away from that? Black fathers are most likely to split up from the mothers. Asian mothers are least likely to split up from the fathers. I don't know why they didn't compare likes on likes. They should look at black fathers and whatever. But from listening to what my taxi driver said, going back to the taxi driver, he said that he was very, very surprised that over a period of time, the trends are showing, and the births and deaths register records, that black families and Asian families are divorcing at a much higher rate as compared to the past maybe 10 or 20 years ago. So the thing that was an indicator for him was the names on the list. So you'll see all African surnames, whereas before you see mostly white surnames or British surnames. So usually maybe it'll be, Mr. Green, Mr. Brown, Mr. Doodley, or Mrs. Doodley. And now it's Mr. Obiero, Mr. Obasanjo, Mr. and Mrs. Karaoke. Those are the African names that they're seeing now as compared to before. So this is what has happened, guys. That the trends show that black families are divorcing at a much higher rate in the UK than ever before. 63% of black kids who are growing up in the UK are in single-parent households, as compared to, for example, 22% in the general population. Okay, so there's a problem. We have a problem with that. Can you imagine all those African kids or black children who are growing up with only mothers? When they go to school, what happens? They're in classes, and they're in class together with their colleagues or their peers, and all of them have their daddy coming for them, or the daddy and the mommy coming to pick them up from school, and all the black children have is their mothers, or they have to take the bus alone. When I was in the UK, we were in buses in London. It was quite evident that black kids are really on their own. A lot of black kids are latchkey kids. When we say latchkey in the UK, it means that they come and open the door for themselves. That means they let themselves in and there's nobody in the household to look after them when they come from school, because most of them, of course, come from school earlier. So basically what I'm saying is this. We as Africans really need to look at our situations when it comes to marital commitments and our behaviors out in the West. What is it? What are the stresses? What are the drivers of marriage breakdown? We definitely need to look into that situation, isn't it, guys? Because I don't really think it is right for us to just ignore it. Because a family is the foundation of a society, which is the foundation of a country, of a nation, of a continent. And if our continent is just going to be full of single mothers, you heard it from my house help here. That's the situation that's prevalent right here in Kenya. The advent of single mothers is so high in this country of Kenya. It's also high in countries like South Africa and I think in the east and southern region. There's a very high level of divorce and separation and children living with single parents. Just like there is in the Caribbean and also in UK and in the US, where you find the majority of children who are of black skin are growing up in single parent households, headed mostly by the mothers, mostly. And what does that do? It exposes the children to a lot of risk. They don't have the protection of their fathers. And this is what's causing a lot of mental health issues, especially amongst black boys. Because again, that specific study talked about the fact that mental health issues seem to be more prevalent amongst black boys than black girls. We need to understand that black boys are affected by, with the lack of support and upbringing by their fathers in the households. It matters a lot. Black girls are affected too, but not as badly as black boys, because obviously the indicators are showing that black boys' mental health is at a greater risk in the West as well as in Africa and as well as in the Caribbean. And we see a lot of black boys, African boys, getting into trouble, and as young men, they're unable to keep a stable household. What does this mean for us? It means that it exposes us to risk. It exposes us to a lot of scrutiny by people from different races. And we should be looking at this situation because it's not right. It's not about the blame game. It's not about saying, oh, these women, oh, these men. No, it's not about that. Let's look at it on a higher level as a societal breakdown issue. If we keep on playing the blame game, it means we're just going to continue pointing fingers at people. We keep on pointing fingers at other people and not taking responsibility for the situation. Let's ask ourselves, why is it that we have allowed this to continue? Why is it? Why? We as Africans need to really think, because what we are doing is that we are ensuring the lack of survival. We are exposing our population to high risk, and we are limiting opportunities for ourselves, and are ensuring that we're not going to survive to the next few generations. Because there's no way that we can be raising black boys to grow up as black men with mental health issues just because their fathers have decided not to become responsible and that society has decided to turn a blind eye. Why is it that society is turning a blind eye to the impact of single-parent households, mostly run by women, globally? Why? So guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that talk. I don't really want to give you answers. What I wanted to give you is thought-provoking information about the fact that single-parent households are literally the norm in Europe and other places. So whenever any white person or any other person from any other race looks at a black family and sees two people together, they're shocked. It's actually quite shocking and exciting. And you looked at kind of like, oh, all right, so it's possible. And that's because 63%, more than half, almost three quarters of the black population are split up. Why is that, guys? Our strength lies in the family. Our strength lies in the community. We talk about pride of our African ancestors. Our African ancestors were not divorced. They were living together. And that strengthened the households. The men played a huge role in defending the households, in defending the families, defending their children, providing guidance, providing an anchor, resolving differences, keeping the peace, ensuring stability, and providing for their households. There's so much that men are responsible for. There's such a huge role for men to play and fathers to play. And this cannot be played by mothers or society or anybody else. Black families need to come together. Families need to do their best not to split up. And if they do, they have to find a way to co-parent. The norm should be that fathers and mothers live together. And that materialism, which is something that we all seem to love to chase, be the last thing, and the need and the greed for money and things should not come again over and above our need for stable families and homes. I hope you enjoyed my discussion, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow or the next day. I promised you that I'm going to be bringing you topics because I want to be a staple on your diet. I don't want to just be a menu. I want to be on the table. Okay, guys? I heard that stated by one of the politicians. I thought, that really makes a lot of sense. Anyway, guys, talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Toodoo.